Hello, everyone. Many thanks to the chair for introducing me. I would like to thank also the organizing committee, organizers for providing me this opportunity and selecting my paper and managing all these. Even I'm able to join the conference online. Now I'm going to talk about mainly the 3 points. The first one is about why this topic and this subject is more important to me, and I'm interested on working this particular topic. Even I started working on the topic since 2013. And the second point is about art-based research perspective, especially in context of Nepal. And then the last point is I would be connecting this presentation with a theater and how this theater has been an art-based advocacy in general. So talking about the research and its significance, I have been also working for a long time and come to know personally that there are several uh, initiative, especially the post-conflict initiative taking place. They were and they are in the different parts of the country, including the Women Peace and Security Agenda, which is obviously the global development agenda for women. And I have had the opportunity to work with this particular opportunity a couple of times. So I closely try to understand these points. And like there are some other actors who have been working in this sector for long, and directly, indirectly, I come to know about something tangible that can be done for the community and for the women, especially those who are victims or the victim of the armed conflict in this sense. And the most important factor to me is that there are the many initiatives like that the art-based approaches have been practiced to advocate, to talk about, to discuss about these issues, uh, to achieve the goal of the women rights and empowerment in Nepal. So I think this could be, especially the art-based approach, has been used in the development sector for long, and I realize that why we should not introduce or work on what additional I can in the field, so to make it and to conceptualize it as the art piece from the academic perspective as well. That's why I'm interested to work on this topic. And I know this is being the background of the development practice. So this paper is more focused on that. I'm aware on that. And the why I am trying to working on this field and trying to communicate, connect with these issues. This is because I want to learn something more about you, and your feedback and comments will be really supportive to me. So it's briefly talking about the art-based research practices and method, particularly focused on Nepal and then the global context. So what I can share here that like the what is the art-based research is I have considered that it's kinds of qualitative method of doing research, and where experiential techniques are used and then the researcher's experience becomes pivotal. Uh, it is somehow organic as well, in a sense that the people can or the researcher can use their own organic or specific context specific methods to do the research or to be part of the research. So that's why this is the combination of the researchers as well as the subject. This is also the personal connection. So why this is different than the other one is because there is the more and more engagement of researcher as a internal participant, not only as an external one. So this is the just like art-based research practice is emerged out of the affinity between the research and research practices as a craft. So these practices offer alternatives to traditional research method, adopting tenets of creative arts that are available in communities, and they comprise a new theoretical and epistemological grounding as well. So this is the heavily highly discussed issue in the global scenario as well. So I have compiled some of the possible forms of the art-based research or in our context. It's like there could be some literary forms, performative forms, audio visual forms, or visual forms, and that can be also the sports and festivals that we occasionally celebrate in different parts of the country. And then it also employ sometimes the multi-method forms as well. So in this sense, the art-based research is somehow considered as the alternative to the traditional forms of research. That's why I'm also interested working on that particular issue. So the major question for this research are not very like just the can an artistic method like uh, theater help to advocate for a development agenda like WPS, and should art-based assessment be the contributory factor to reconnect with audiences, readers in the changing context to the academic contribution as well? Not only the development contribution, but also so it can be a unique method for artistic inquiry to shape a new vision of the research. So this paper is more focused on the outcome of the theater than it intends it aims to multiply with the research technique that are at best. And then the methodology is obviously I employ applied the or the assess the theater that we call the theatrical play or theater that was organized in Kathmandu. It was during the Corona time and the COVID, and that's why it was partially it was mixed. We applied the mixed forms like online hybrid form like this one, and then some of the participants were inside the theater hall and some of them were online. And mostly we invited especially the member of parliament, those who have broad responsibility to formulate the law and sometimes to implement these laws as well. So that there was a many member of parliament from the different parts of country attended online. So, and the likewise, the post-performance feedbacks were also collected, how they perceive the theater, and my personal empirical reflection are also there because, as I told you, then I have been working in this sector since 2013, and my reflection has been included in that sense as well. So, obviously, the analysis is done, the review of some art-based practices as a theoretical framework, and then the organization in the collected data, sorting data, descriptive analysis is made in this sense. So the major results and talking about the findings, so the especially the processes, the play production and writing was reflective. So it's the empirical and then the participatory, which help to reconnect with the art-based research and advocacy. So it means researcher who has been designing throughout all the process of this, let's say the project, as a proposal writer to the reporting space, and then the way a team of the core team of the people who advise, who consulted with the artists and advise our uh, just like limitation how we can make it more audience friendly, and then we not only uh, uh, paid attention to the simply the theatrical aspect only, like we have lots of background work on that. It's like so we make it more like the participatory from the perspective as well. So theater actors were also engaged in the process with therapeutic, empathetic way, and then they reconnected with the issue. So, and then also seeks to the assurance of the hope while also telling to the tales of the women victims of the armed conflict. So the performance was staged to help the conflict victim of Nepal, decade-long armed conflict, reflecting on their wounds and watching their story retold by the group of theater artists. So this the second another finding could be the audience also took active participation and sharing during the performance and on online, and then the post performance sharing session as well. And the based on the performance post performance feedback collection, the theoretical presentation of the gender based issue scenes supporting to increase the number of audience, and then the issue raised to multiply the possibility of changing human behaviors. So through the artistic connection and realization. So the indication were of that play turned out to be the therapeutic communication to victims in relation to letting go their griefs. So the last one is it was found that the play sheds light on how the agenda of serious issues like the UNSCR 1325 and 1820 can be communicated, reinforced, and advocated in the national and local concept like that of Nepal. So with this process, so I come up with some of the agenda for the further research. I know this is very limited. This is my very initiative or a preliminary initiative to work on the art-based approach. So I know this is not perfectly academic one. So it's more like a development reports or something like that we can consider. This is my realization, and that's why I have identified some of the limitation or the demarcation that can be adopted to strengthen this area of research. Like we can construct and characterize the view points like implicit to the art-based research, especially in context of Nepal, taking the lesson from the global context, and likewise the art-based how what art-based investigative practices have we applied so far and how to bring them in the academic avenues. That could be another area of research. And then it could be also not only from the development perspective but also from the academic perspective. It could be the means of social justice dissemination and global impact, how we can make it more feasible and possible through our activities. I am interested working on that. So maybe this could be the interest of someone else. So I will appreciate, I will welcome if someone is share the idea, related idea with me. So in this contest, with these points, I would like to conclude my presentation. And then if there are some points, feedbacks, comments are there, then I will really, really appreciate. That would be very good references and guideline for my research in the future as well. So I have some references mentioned here and listed. Thank you so much for listening my presentation, and have a wonderful time ahead. Thank you.